Hello, all you lucky people. My name is Robert, and I have put together a little multi-part documentary regarding something I would like to introduce you to, and something I have come to call Junior. But before we get to Junior, I will tell you a true story on how Junior came to be in me. The worst parts and some of the nice parts too. Anyway, let's get to it. A long time ago, well, not that long ago, on an island far, far away, I found myself living the dream in the Caribbean, where up this hill I worked hard, and where I kept this dish a-spinning and the Air Force a-grinning. When not maintaining the tracker, I maintained good relations with the natives. Not those natives. But where there exists paradise, there also exists disaster. Not that kind of disaster, but the kind that brings darker skies and the destruction of a hurricane. Here's my very unfortunate barracks neighbor. Here's my place on the right of his. Here on Paradise Island, there's a lot of greenery. Not this kind of greenery. But as you get closer, you'll begin to realize it's not the fuzzy and friendly kind, but instead it's the painfully frightful kind, which covers the entire island. The natives call it Acacia bush. It is commonly known as Acacia. Of the Brachial tortosa genus, I believe it's its proper name. Anyway, back up the little road that goes up the work hill, the old work hill, after the hurricane is where Junior came to be. In me. In this photo, you'll see what appears to be cows hanging out on the grass. But it's not grass. It's mowed acacia to keep the line poles clear. These line poles carry something called a flexible waveguide that goes down to a 150-foot tower at the bottom of the hill. On this occasion, a corrugated piece of sheet metal wrapped around the waveguide during Hurricane Georges. Since I was the lead engineer, it was my job to repair it. So with a small bucket truck, I got to work and got the splice put in. And with the job complete, I proceeded to descend off the truck, where I slipped off the wet bumper to land hard directly on the center of my back. Upon trying to get up, it was like being stuck on Velcro, but much more painful. After about a year, most of the thorns came out, but there's just one that stayed in. Anyway, this thorn, lodged basically into my, right next to the right of my spinous process, and developed from that point to create a root structure in my rhomboid, and has these nice little elements coming up from it. There's another view of it down here, and more parts of it. And as it came up, there's two things this thing did. It went through or alongside my spine and formed these other structures around my heart. Basically I have to presume to absorb CO2. Here's another view in a different DICOM perspective. The only way to see this thing, I discovered, when I got the CD from the radiology, and I wasn't sure how to run the DICOM program. That's this mess here. And being these are only screenshots, here on my second part of the video, I'll demonstrate the graphics, and you could see this thing in quite a better perspective. But yep, from the thorn, it started growing and progressed up and up and up. And there's from the spine, and it grew these different tendrils, if you will, coming over the brachial plexus, where it attached to my subclavian and the vena cava down into the heart. And on the subclavian, it created this neat little structure. This neat little structure here, sitting on the subclavian. It's rather, since it resembles basically these type of pods here from a different genus of the Bachelia, but still they have this in common, and it's a bloom. That's what these turn into eventually. These are partial blooms. Here's another pretty good example, and I'm pretty certain that's what's hanging around at me. Here's another slice of this, and you can see it's partially bloomed. As I said before, this thing came over my brachial plexus and worked its way down, encapsulating the vena cava. So it constantly feels like I have a heart attack. And you can see here's part of the intrusion from along the spine here, and it created these structures here further down into the heart, most likely to obtain CO2, as I said. Here's another perspective. I ran across a 3D program in my attempt to understand what this thing was, and when I first saw this, it came up on the angio. It was very, very apparent It was something that I could tell wasn't supposed to be there. You compare the left side to the right side of the body, everything should be the same, but of course not this thing. This is definitely not supposed to be there. This big honking mass. As like I said, it really hurts too. Constantly. It feels like somebody's pulling barbed wire through my body. There's another perspective of the same monster. Of course, it's got all these tendrils going in all these various different directions. I imagine since this image was generated back in August of 22, being that this organism was 24 years old, I assume, from the time that I fell, I have to hypothesize that it's progressing up into my head, being that it's falling as it comes off of the whoops, there's me smiling, as it comes off of the vena cava, it has in a subclavian, there's also the carotid vein, and even though it's not on this, I actually have a nice growth at the base of my jaw, on the right side. And anyway, we'll get to that in the next video. But for right now, I hope you enjoyed this. I wish I could say I enjoyed it, but all I could do is just say that I'm glad to be able to share this with you. Hopefully this might help other people to realize that sometimes radiologists just don't tell you the truth. Neither does your doctor, considering I've the past 2 years I've gone through approximately 15 doctors, and 2 of those being specialists with the infectious disease types, and they turned this down. They did not want to accept the case, which is bizarre. So anyway, you all, I will leave you with a smile, and hopefully we can make another video and show you the graphics. Anyway, this is me saying goodbye and leaving you with a smile. Bye now.